Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Max with BuzzTox here, and it is time. It is time to bring us back online. Westworld is finally back and airing today. And for the first time ever, I'm going to do an actual reaction to the episode. Hopefully some exciting things happen, and hopefully things happen where I actually understand what is happening. Because, Season 3 was a long time ago. There's a lot to catch up on. To really recap it, it focused more on the human condition with this entity called Rehoboam, which is essentially an artificial intelligent system that is able to predict what humanity is going to do and where it is going to lead them in the future. And the reason why that is so significant is because the main villain, Sirach, essentially wanted to create this utopia where outliers of humanity, like Caleb, for example, would veer them off the course of human destruction. So he used Rehoboam, and he used his own resources to try and basically change the outliers of humanity. Very similar to Delores' journey, trying to achieve consciousness and being an outlier. But it ended with Delores having the key, destroying Rehoboam, and now we don't know what's going on. We know Bernard went to go check out the Valley Beyond. But other than that, it'll be really interesting to see what happens in this season and what kind of technology or what kind of idea they are going to focus on. So, without further ado, let's get into Westworld Season 4. Getting a Breaking Bad vibe here. Man in Black, here he is. There's the door, the maze, now there's the dam. Okay, so now we're doing data storage. Makes sense. Quantum computing.
As such, it's not for sale.
I don't think they're talking about Teresa.
Everything here is for sale.
Teresa in Season 1 smuggled data out of Delores. And Ford killed her. Bernard did.
You think anyone's...
Who's going to pay a visit? Charlotte? Ford? I said in another video that flies represent something different with the hosts and humans. Flies for humans represent death and decay. For hosts, it actually means being alive. Hosts don't feel the fly when they're not conscious. When they feel the fly and can hit it away and break it, they're breaking their core code, which means that they are achieving a form of life. Duality, people. Let's see what this represents. Ugh. He's got a bug problem. Wouldn't it be amazing if Westworld dived into NFTs and cryptocurrency? Couple options. Either he's a host or they're doing some type of recognition of his behavior like Caleb in Season 3. We will see. Painting of the city. This is modernized Delores. Delores used to do paintings of her ranch all the time. This apartment probably costs her like $2,000 a month. $3,000.
Which would you choose? White or black? Christina.
The hats, good or evil?
They both look great. Pick a side, Chrissy.
Chose white, Chrissy, not Delores. To be honest, this is like a pretty accurate representation of how I would imagine the future. My initial reaction to that is it's almost like the maze. It's hidden symbols that's embedded in his head, because what's his face? Akichita would sketch the maze in people's brains.
Scratch that. The city. He's a little infirm, so she spends most of her time with him. But she dreams of a bigger life. With
Yeah.
excitement, adventure, romance.
Delores.
Just, bring more of that. Or else I'm gonna have to find another writer who can. Understood?
Yes, of course.
Okay, half the ideas I'm spewing, I'm not going to be able to validate them because I'm just reacting right now. But like the first thing that honestly popped in my head is I know that Delores was the first host that was made, but it'd be really interesting if this was Delores, the actual person, and we find out that she was a writer, and Delores as a host was maybe the story was purchased by Delos. Maybe there was a third party.
You hear me? I know you're out there. I saw what you wrote. Why are you doing this to us? You have to help me. Your game is ruining my life.
Second thought, that idea wouldn't happen because Westworld was founded in 2018, I believe, in this world. Never mind. Maeve? So there's a lot of changes here. Last time we saw Maeve, she basically left with the city burning with Caleb. She's still thinking of her daughter, Hector. I think she's battling that. That's the story that she was given. And she tried to convince herself that it wasn't real. But it is real.
Are you ready, darling?
For what?
This is the new world. And in this world, you can be whoever the fuck you want.
Yep, when she's given the option to be whoever she wants, she falls back to who she was. So we missed some stuff here. So now we're here with the timeline. So maybe that already happened. They were trying to show us that they went on an adventure. Caleb got injured. I don't know. Was he wearing a wedding ring?
Any plans for the anniversary?
Simulation. This is the simulation. There goes the chest again. Got too excited. Maybe I should do up the button. I think they want to throw us by bringing up... He's wearing a wedding ring. Yeah, he wasn't married before. So I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to show like, oh, they blew up the machines, your life hasn't changed, whatever. When in reality, I think they're in a simulation to predict what is the optimal situation after the fallout of Rehoboam. But this is just me spitballing. There's no way that's Maeve's kid. Like every first episode of Westworld, I am so confused. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. I just find it interesting that like Maeve's thinking about her daughter, and then we see Caleb with a girl who could totally be Maeve's daughter. And he is being her father, mentor. Like, I can make a bunch of predictions right now, but not yet.
Must have been spared.
Mustache is coming back, guys. They're mimicking season 1, episode 1 of Delores. There's going to be an event that happens that is going to thrust her and then she'll have a reset. It'll mimic Westworld Season 1, Episode 1. Here comes some conflict. What did I say? Something's going down. Something's going down. Mm-hmm. The maze.
Look, I'm sure it was nothing. Probably that kid from the fourth floor that likes to smoke weed on the fire.
This is the park. This is a park. This is Delores' storyline. It's been adapted to fit a modern woman.
And remember, smile. You
This-
have to at least try.
This is a Westworld park.
Do I mean, even if by some miracle we're right for each other, shouldn't it be
It's gonna mimic the story.
natural and easy?
Are you kidding?
She's basically in Sweetwater right now. On her way back home, she's gonna get attacked. And then she's gonna wake up the next morning and repeat and go be a writer.
Honey, the truth is, you need to get laid.
Probably gonna see Teddy here too.
I didn't see you there. But now I do.
It's okay.
You scared me.
Guess we're even.
I'm Peter.
I just have to get home. My roommate's waiting for me.
I've been wanting to meet you for such a long time.
Excuse me?
I knew you existed. I was worried you weren't real, but here you are. Get off me, man!
Timelines. Confirmed. She sees the maze, but it's interesting because this park, they're focusing on the tower. Because I believe that this is a new creation by Charlotte. Delores is Charlotte. And she is, of course, a variation of Delores. That's why that guy gave her
Ready to
shit.
help me or not?
Yeah. Threw your beer in the garbage?
Hey there.
What the fuck?
Is your daddy home?
He's from season 1. He's a host. 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 This is a simulation. He's the milk guy. He poured milk on top of the other host in season 1. Now she's definitely going to be keeping the BB gun under her bed. There he is. Wow. I gotta say that was good. I like that a lot. It was very good. I find that they really went back to their roots. This was a start a lot like the first season of Westworld, where it kind of opens up with a lot of questions, because they started, what they said was 7 years after the events of what happened in season 3. So naturally there's a lot of gaps to fill in. And 7 years gives us enough time to establish other storylines that we can piece together throughout the show. So the first thing I want to talk about is Delores' storyline. Delores gives me vibes like this is a park. I think they did 7 years because 7 years is long enough for Charlotte Hale, the other Delores module, who's been kind of corrupted, to build the tower that they talked about and to build a park. And essentially, we now have this new Delores character that is based off of Delores. She's looking for the same thing. She sees the maze. She wants a life outside of the mundane life that she currently lives in. And I'm sure we'll see her do that. The one thing I'll say about Wyatt is, in season 1, they talked about Wyatt basically finding the center of the maze and then building a house and finding what he was looking for and essentially putting walls up around him so no one could find the center of the maze except for him. And that's what I think is happening with the tower. I think the tower is the house that Wyatt has built, which is Charlotte, and she has built a park where no one has the ability to access their own conscious mind, except for Charlotte, who now sits at the top and pulls the strings of this world that she's running. In terms of her motivations as to why, I need to sit and think about it. But I think that's where the show's going. I think that's why there's Teddy there. What we saw with Delores' storyline is it literally was Westworld season 1, but adapted to a modern setting. And the difference between Delores hearing Arnold's voice, being called by Arnold, and her realizing it was her inner self. She's being contacted by this guy who is having his story written. My initial thoughts on that is his story is being written, but by Charlotte, which is technically Delores. So either we're going to see a weird adaptation of this Delores character finding her way to the tower and discovering the truth behind it, or maybe they're going to do another weird adaptation of consciousness. We'll see what happens there. In terms of Maeve and Caleb, I actually think that they might be in the real world. I could be wrong, but it seems like there was a big disconnect between Delores' storyline and Caleb's storyline. I think 7 years really did pass. I think it's possible that the world kind of just fell back into our patterns like we always do. And William is sending those hosts to kill them, and it makes sense. A lot of the hosts we've seen before in previous seasons, they brought a lot of actors back. And really, it's not William, it's Charlotte. If they're really going to say that William's alive, I doubt it. After they literally killed him in a post-credit scene. So we'll see if they keep that up. With Caleb's storyline mainly, I find it ironic that they destroyed Rehoboam, which was a system that painted a path for every outlier and tried to push them along a certain track to make sure humanity was safe. And that has now been destroyed, and yet Caleb has fallen into the idyllic pattern of the perfect human being or the perfect life. He has the wife, the kid, the standard work 9 to 5, come home, and we're finally going to see him take a step out and go towards who he actually is. But as of now, those are my initial thoughts of the show. I really enjoyed it. It was awesome. I'm super excited for episode 2. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.